jaws dropped, listening. I guess the institutes or the institutions that came to present this survey was trying to tell them, hey guys, wake up, start investing in your people. And the intellectual office is there basically to protect and to bring out from the woodwork mga innovators natin. Now, we pride ourselves as a people of being very resourceful, innovative, and whatnot. Let's put it to work. Tama rin sinabi ni Attorney Peralta, no? Director Peralta, that sana wag naman ma-archive lang yan, malagay sa library and whatnot, but to be used in commercial sense. We have a lot. For example, I have interviewed many in my shows, inventors who have created innovations when it comes to garbage collection, cleaning, so many. And they all go to the DOST and they sit there. But I guess maybe the DOST needs more push, more innovative thinking to absorb these people. But it's not really their role alone. It's also the capitalists. Maybe nakukulang tayo. So I guess attention to the many chambers of commerce that attract associations of businessmen and entrepreneurs to come in to tell them, hey guys, let's invest on our own. And we have the innovations, the inventions right here in the Philippines. Yun ang kinukulang natin eh. Parang ganun eh.
According to the study that was presented, Bruce Lehman of IIPI said that even in the United States, only 7% of patented products are being commercialized. So not everything that is patented. Just to clear, the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines serves as a registry for trademarks and patents. So it's like a register of deeds for land titles, but only for intellectual property like patents and trademarks. And of the 100% patent filers last year, 2010, only 5% came from local Filipino inventors and 95% came from foreign filers.
But then you only need one. All you need is one invention or two. Okay ka na. Look at the Macintosh, the IBM, di ba? Isa lang.
So just to clarify, the role of the IPO is to register, give you a registry of your invention if you want to own it. Now, whether or not you want to capitalize on that, you want to commercialize that, you want to turn that into money is another matter that perhaps I'm not sure if that's something that we should burden the government with or if that's really the mandate of the DOST.
Dapat private,
but
private trade.
Nevertheless, for assistance on trademarks and brand registration, as well as innovation and patent registration, call up the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines at 751-0395. Again, that's 751-0395 for your intellectual property registration. Please don't go away. Piracy Watch will be right back.
We now return to Piracy Watch on DZRJ 810 AM, the voice of the Philippines. Here's your host, Sarah Jane Sugitan.
All right, welcome everybody to Piracy Watch, where we are still talking about the missed innovation opportunities of the country and what the IPOPhil's role is, the DOST, and also the private sector. Earlier, Mr. Harry Tambuatco was saying that when it comes to capitalizing or monetizing or profiting from innovations and inventions that are the Filipinos have created, it should be the initiative should come from the private sector in creating these new industries and supporting our creative and talented Filipino people. Just before we go back to that discussion, I'd like to answer the question of the week from PhilCos, or the Filipinas Copyright Licensing Society. This question is sent by Mr. Elijah Gonzalo. Here's his question. I am a contributor to a website. I do it for free because I'm into Philippine literature. My works are not literary ones, but rather announcements I find in other websites. Kina-copy-paste ko and then I send them to the webmaster where I contribute. Do I have copyright over my research? And do I even have the right to call them my research? According to IPOPhil's Mark D, you do not have any right over these materials, Elijah, since you merely copied this from another site and pasted this on your website. Although tweets or short ideas or phrases may be protected by copyright, they must be original. In this case, they are not, and you may not claim any right to these announcements. But if you write your own original descriptions or opinions about them, You may claim copyright over these descriptions and opinions. And so if you just copy paste material from other authors' material, that's not yours. That's definitely not yours. So you should give credit where credit is due, and when possible, please do ask permission before reproducing content from other writers. The Filipinas Copyright Licensing Society is inviting all women writers and researchers to Huntahan para sa Manunulat na Kababaihan. This will be held on March 28 from 1 o'clock p.m. until 4 at the College of Social Work and Community Development in UP Diliman. Phil Calls Huntahan para sa Manunulat na Kababaihan is an informal discussion on writing, publishing, intellectual property, of course, and copyright. Yours truly will be the guest speaker for that session. This session is specially designed for women writers and researchers. The forum aims to identify and address challenges in and outside the academe and to promote women writers' rights in the country. The forum is free and open to the female public. Pre-registration, however, is required for the preparation of your certificates and light snacks. Please text or email 0919-317-5708. Again, that's 0919-317-5708, or email philcols, FILCOLS, @gmail.com. Visit their website at philcols.blogspot.com. This event is organized by Philcols and the UP Center for Women's Studies. Again, for those who need assistance on trademark, brands, and patent and innovation registration, call up the IPOPhil at 751-0395. We will do it for free, except for the filing fees that you have to pay, of course. So again, that's 751-0395. Earlier, we were talking about the missed innovation opportunities in the Philippines and what the IPOPhil, the DOSC, and the private sector can do about this. Again, the innovations, of course, the decision rests with the creator or the inventor. How do you want a short-term compensation for your, do you want to be compensated agad for your invention, in which case you have the option to sell it immediately to a capitalist, or do you want to own it, register it as your own, and then go into partnership with the private sector in terms of capitalizing and turning your inventions into money? So before we end this show, also I'd like to ask everyone to please pray for the speedy recovery of the Legal Network for Truthful Elections co-convener, Attorney Carlos P. Medina Jr. He's also from the Truth Commission. He has had open brain surgery, and we are all praying for his speedy recovery, rather. All right. So before we end this show, again, any last message for our listeners? Mr. Harry Tamboatco here joining me in the studio discussing innovation opportunities. Oh, yeah. Well, before anything else, I'd like to thank, of course, David Salon for hair and makeup, and also Global News Network. Every Fridays, Piracy Watch is a counterpart TV show on intellectual property, airing exclusive to Destiny subscribers Friday nights at 7 p.m. All right, back to what we were talking about earlier, which is missed innovation opportunity.
I think on missed innovations, the one thing I learned in that forum last Friday, there is a lack of trust or innovative thinking for the Filipino entrepreneurs and businessmen. You know, ang nangyayari sa, most local entrepreneurs, the businessmen, the Filipinos, not Chinoys or the Chinese or foreigners, is we get a lot into services because it's the easiest, it's proven, it's fastest. But actually, the real money-making opportunities is the ability to create products that are new, different, and that actually service the people. And we are not lacking in this innovation because we have the inventors. We have I think we have one big inventor society or association in the Philippines. There's two of them, okay. But
two inventor society.
Between the two of them, the inventions that I have personally seen, right there and then, you need not look for new inventions any longer. With them, they have so many. The problem is, don't try to just buy them out and take it from there, because innovations are born, they bear more innovations as they are implemented. You know, the commercialization of an invention will also require some type of innovation over that innovation as it goes along. And so taking the inventor out to help develop his product even further is not necessarily very wise. but to create new products. First, to sell it locally, commercially in this market, and then from here on to open up to other opportunities for export and international sale. But at least, don't miss out on an opportunity because your sight is only as far as your nose extends. Buti sana kung matangos tayo talaga. We're not as a people. So basically, we are missing out. And the surveys and the reports that have been coming in proves this correct. We are not persevering enough and long-term thinking enough. Now, in building a country, in building a nation, we need these innovations. We need our investors. We also need our capitalists. And we need regulation and protection from government. Everybody plays a role. So the holistic approach is everybody does his part. I'm not sure I know who to condemn. If it's going to be the inventors who are too passive, maybe not proactive, or the capitalists who are too sigurista and not looking into innovations.
Take a chance on our Filipino inventors and innovators.
And after all, your protection now is here with the IPO being proactive and no longer passive. They're right there, and which is why they're coming out with this awareness generation to teach and tell you that the office is here to protect and to build this country together with you. It's not a singular role. It's all of us. It's the concerted effort of everybody put together para sabay-sabay we create, we commercialize, we generate.
We protect here on IPO-Phil. Yeah, so for assistance on brand, trademark, patents, registration, call up the IPO-Phil, the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines at 751-0395. This show has been brought to you by the IPO-Phil, the World Intellectual Property Organization, and special thanks to David Salon. Again, the IPO-Phil will soon be celebrating the World IP Day on April 26th and the UNESCO's World Book Day on April 23. Send us your thoughts on how we can eliminate piracy and promote a culture of respect for IP. Call us up at 897-8374 or 895-4460. Like us on Facebook or Twitter, or visit the website at www.ipopphil.gov.ph. Thank you very much for joining me here on Piracy Watch together with Mr. Harry Tambuadco and earlier Director Carmen G. Peralta of the IPO-Phil. Join us again next Tuesday for another edition of Piracy Watch.
You have been listening to Piracy Watch with attorney Sarah Jane Sugitan. Piracy Watch, an exclusive presentation of DZRJ, 810 AM, the voice of the Philippines.